All right. Hey, it's Bryan's Lunch Truck Radio. And Dennis, can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
When will we have sunshine for more than one day in a row?
Never. They faked us out with a few days
I know.
recently that were glorious. And now we keep hitting this partly cloudy nonsense. Maybe by 3 o'clock it'll be sunny. Maybe it won't. May gray, June gloom. What do you call is it July why?
Yeah. August.
Fogust. No, we can't have Fogust.
October.
This is enough. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be sunny sometime, So anyway, this is CarbonateValleyRadio.com, and today we have Geri and Carty as our guest, who's just a wonderful person. Geri, introduce yourself.
Hello, Bryan. And
hello,
Dennis, and we have Kim here.
Yes. But Kim's here so often, I forgot to introduce her. She is.
Fade into the background.
She fades into the background. You never fade into the background. It's impossible.
No.
You had an orgasm last time you were here.
Just from the music.
Yeah. Wow, the vagina.
She brings the color commentary.
Yeah, she brings the color commentary. You're a loser.
So I should have been here with Greg, but he's really busy working today, so he sends his apologies, but plans to come at another time.
I hope so. And I'm sure everybody who's listening knows, and we all obviously know here, that you're actually a team member of Carpentarian of the Year.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that.
Well, that was a huge, crazy surprise, because it's the cool thing about it is that my father-in-law received it. I don't even know the year, so I'm not going to go there. My sister Mary Beth received it, and my brother also received this honor. So I just never thought I'd be in the running. But when they were actually announcing it, they were kind of doing this tag team.
Yes.
One would give a little hint, and then the other would give a hint, but one would give a hint about me, and one would give it about Greg. And so I'd be listening thinking, wait, I know that. I should know this person because I do that.
Right.
And
that's funny.
About Greg, and I'd be like, oh no, I guess it's not who I thought it was, and then back and forth. And then when they mentioned City Council, I was like, holy crap, it's Greg, and I was thrilled because he's
great. He's a fantastic individual.
Yeah,
she was so excited. She leans over and goes, I'm so happy for him. And I'm like, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, hold on. And I was like, it was really like the dumbest because I was sucker punched.
Right. I mean, but in a good way.
Yeah. And then when I stand up, and he's sitting across from me because the heat lamp was bearing down, and he doesn't like that. So it wasn't even that we were sitting next to each other that we could.
I was sitting next to him, actually.
Yes, that I could lean over and go, what? So I kind of would look at him, and he was just sort of like thinking, I don't even know. But anyway, it was very cool, and it was really a beautiful surprise.
Hey, good. Okay, I want to bring you in on this one. So
I was going to say, to get him there, he was told that Geri was getting it.
Oh.
So he had no clue. And then when they talked about mayor and city council, he kind of sat up and was like, what?
Right.
He thought Al Clark was getting it.
Wow. Hey, so, Kim, I want to bring you in. Yeah. So tell us some of the attributes that Geri has that brought her to be Carpentarian of the Year.
Oh, are you kidding me? You're going to have me wax poetic on this person?
Yes.
I mean, basically.
Yes.
An orgasm.
Yeah. I mean, really.
No, when I was on before, this is actually the person that I had the song Fucking Perfect for.
Right.
Because, Geri is incredible. She is so giving. She is such an inspiration to so many. How many organizations in this town does she support?
How many?
Geri, you...
Come on, name a few.
Go ahead. Girls Inc. Keep going.
Girls Inc.
How are we going to go back?
Go back. Go back.
Yeah. You have a great history in this town. You've helped make Carpentarian what it is.
Well, I really enjoyed a time on the American Heart Association with my sister Angela, and we just enjoyed that and shared some events. That was really fun. I'm always involved in my kids' schools, so site council or a parent group and that kind of thing. And I don't know. I was thinking about volunteerism, and the thing that probably struck me was a memory that I had as a child. And I remember my mom and I were shopping, and we saw this woman with all of these really, really sad-looking children, just a lot of them that just looked, they were not well tended, and you could just tell they looked hungry. And we kind of watched them where we were in the car, and then we watched them walk across the street and go into this old, beaten down efficiency hotel.
Right.
And I mean, there was probably 7 children and this woman. And I just remember my mom and I looking at each other. And I was a young teen, probably, 13. And we went to the grocery store and we just got a load of groceries. And we saw which one they went into. We just knocked and left it all there.
Wow.
So that was my first sort of memory that it were, volunteerism or
giving back to the community
altruistic acts filled my heart. And so, and my parents were like that. My dad would always be building for his friends. He was a police officer. He always did really extra beautiful things for the community. But on weekends, when he finally got a break, he would be building houses for his friends. They put a roof on, they would do an addition, whatever, just volunteered his time. And my mother was always, if she knew of a neighbor that wasn't well, she was bringing food, or she was the community nurse. People would come for their allergy shots, so they would just come to our house.
And you're a nurse.
Yes.
Do you specialize in?
Well, I'm an elderly nurse now. So back in the day, my specialty was obstetrics and gynecology.
You're not an elderly nurse. I think you deal geriatric. Is that true?
But
you're not an elderly guy.
I spent
really
the hugest part of my time obstetrics and gynecology, and it was really wonderful because I was working for private practitioners, and they did a lot of infertility work. So I would see these women get pregnant, and then I worked at the hospital where they would have their babies, so I would be there for that, and then they'd come back for the postpartum care to the office. So got to see that full spectrum, and then see another generation where their children started having children. So that was...
Has this led to some lifelong...
working with women.
Has this led to lifelong friendships?
Yes. Yeah, great friendships.
Oh, fantastic.
And also just, like my daughter's friends, I was with so many of them when they were born.
Oh, wow.
Took care of them in the nursery and their parents, and just helping people navigate through those early days was great.
And when it comes to women, when it comes to pregnancy, I had a friend of mine for their firstborn, and she was talking about breastfeeding, and she's like, nobody told me how much this would hurt.
Right.
They give you these pamphlets, and everything says foggy photo of a little suckling baby and this white girl. Everybody's smiling. There's angels in the background. She goes, "That fucking thing, clamp," and that's a quote. She loves her kid. Clamp. So. What do you find that's most surprising for a new mom? What do you find that hours they don't sleep, or do you find that? Right. What do you find that you found over the years that came most surprising, maybe even troubling to a new mom?
Well, I think that a lot of people were really unprepared. It was all about the baby showers and getting the nursery ready, and the baby clothes and getting that, but that days after, how absolutely lonely it is. And if you have a C-section, you're dealing with a post-operative wound, which most people, that alone would take them out, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you take any other post-operative.
So Dennis raised his hand. So, Dennis, you had a C-section. Wow.
Right. Ooh, ouch.
I'm sorry.
And a sneeze, a laugh, anything.
Yeah.
Oh
so I really enjoyed that period of nursing to really just be the reality for women, to tell them, sleep when you can, because this is your only opportunity, and you're going to feel sadness, and you're going to feel this sense of despair at time, and don't feel guilty. It's definitely not the way you feel about your baby. It's the hormones coursing through you, and these crashes. I mean, it's a very, very tough time.
It's very real. Postpartum is a very real thing.
Very, very so.
I had patients that had postpartum depression. I had patients that had postpartum psychoses.
Right.
And so that it's very real. But the other part of this is we're continuing the species, and why are women not hailed as victorious because of that? Why aren't they honored? I mean, I look at the way women are treated in a lot of countries,
including here, in a lot of ways,
and including here for sure.
Yeah.
But that's something that I will never ever understand, why women aren't.
Well, maybe we can explore that and talk about how you ended up in carpentry. But let's listen to a couple songs, and these will be the first one. I can't remember shit. I cannot remember anything. I wore clothes.
That's a plus.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a plus. If you see me nude, it is a plus.
We're ahead right
wow,
there.
you have a toupee on your back. I turned that to a Christmas scene. I turned my back hair into a nativity scene during Christmas.
Every holiday you should.
Yeah, I know. Easter. How do you know it's Easter? Brian's back. He's at the beach. First off, we're going to play your choice, Abbott Brothers, and tell me how you found about the Abbott Brothers, which, by the way, I didn't know about, and boom, a good selection.
Flippin' amazing. They are just the most. First of all, there's nothing like it's Avid actually. I don't
Okay.
mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
Correct.
Fine. That's
there's nothing like a Avid Brothers concert. It is filled with so much joy, so much enthusiasm. Their songwriting is impeccable. They're brothers, obviously, but the people in their band are like family, and you really feel it. So I don't know. It's back in the early '80s, I think, that I went to a Sings Like Hell show. I heard about them before. They used to do like punk with
all kinds of genres.
We actually had a lot of their cassettes back in the day of their punk music.
And then they combined it. That's what they combined.
Banjos
Yeah.
and fiddles and and like incredible energy, incredible.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it because I haven't heard of them before, so I started doing research and looking at them. And they do have a combination of folk, a little bit of punk.
Yeah.
They throw in
They
throw
call
in a
it
fiddle.
Americana these days.
Exactly, Americana. Because
There you go.
folk is just not enough.
Right.
No,
It's just-
and it's not true. It's because Americana has its own style, and a lot of Americana mixes styles.
Right.
It really does.
Well, they
or
come
influences,
from
I
a
should
long
say.
lineage of musicians. Their dad's a musician.
Their mom was.
Yeah, so they'll sing the old classic folk songs, and they do bluegrass, and with their and they have a movie out, and there's also a play. That's
Wow.
Anyway,
You are a groupie.
I'm a major groupie. I mean, it was life changing.
Kim's nodding her head. Well, she never talked.
But the coolest thing is, it was like I said, Sings Like Hell series, and at the end we bought tickets to do the reception after, and so Greg and I went, and nobody was there except for Scott and Seth. And
wow.
little Scott, he's a little bit taller than I. We were just face to face, just having this conversation, and it was just the coolest thing meeting them, and so
Oh, cool.
that's
Well, listen to it. This is called Head Full of Doubt, and after that is Jane Makiba. Jane's from Morocco. The Makiba, I really like it, but I've been delaying playing it because of like 75 million views. They use it in a Levi ad, but it moves, it grooves. It's great, and I couldn't resist it. I have to fucking finally play it, get it out of my head. So, Head Full of Doubt by Avett Brothers, and then Jane Makiba. Hit it, Dennis. The finger. Hey, that's Brian's Lunch Truck Radio. Dennis just gave me the finger singing on the air. It's so great. So nice. And before, I want to give a shout out to one of our good friends, Vin. She's listening.
Hey, Vin.
Say hi, everybody.
Love you.
Yeah, aw, Vin's a great person. She's hilari's.
Hilarious.
She is.
The most
get Vin
giving,
on your show.
loving, generous human ever.
What about Kim?
Oh, there's no words.
That's not a compliment, by the way.
Kim
That's
is the
as
most-
diplomatic
Yeah,
as
Kim's
it gets.
awesome. I know.
Yeah,
Kim's
that was
awesome.
great.
Have you met Dennis before?
Right, Kim.
Have you met Dennis?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
We run
know.
into each other all the time. Sure.
We had lunch together.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Did Greg know?
Oh, God. Are we live?
there.
Yeah, you're live. Oh, Kim's
was
there.
there.
Kim's refereeing.
She was her chaperone.
I was chaperoning.
I was chaperoning. Okay, you know what? We want to talk a couple of things. Said hi, a shout out to Vin, but also what's going on this weekend, Kim?
This weekend we have Rods and Roses followed by the Independence Parade.
And what times are each
Rods
individual?
and Roses 10 to 2. We have about 170 entries. Plus there's a few nonprofit booths. I believe Carpinteria's senior group will be there, Carpi cheerleaders, and then of course the women in agriculture will be there.
Awesome. That'll be good. I'm getting my haircut there too.
In the middle of the street?
I'm on the sidewalk somewhere. My barber has 2 cars.
And now
cool.
is he going to be cutting anybody's hair that wants a haircut?
I've made an appointment. I probably will be. I can't imagine anybody else. No. Yeah, I'm sure. I would say yes. My neighbor's going to go in for a trim. I'm going to get a haircut. He says he's bringing in 2 chairs.
Yeah, so that's great. Just tripping around looking at the old vintage cars. Saying, honey, I think I'll have a haircut.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, he wants to get a new shop on State Street. He's on Upper State Street, Santa Barbara Barbers, a simple name. And he's I know his cars are for sale. He has like 4 classic cars. One's a 1959 El Camino, and I had this talk with Peter Dugray.
Yeah.
And he's going to be having a lottery, so you can buy a ticket for $150. He figured out how much it costs, how many tickets to sell to reach the price he wants, and then the winner gets the 59 El Camino.
Wow.
And it's nice.
Cool.
Not
Oh, yeah,
bad.
definitely. I'm kind of, jonesing for that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I have a Toyota RAV4, but maybe because of my age. I'm 64.
No, it's like, I think that
Go to an era when America was great again,
They were so cool, those vehicles.
when you could pollute.
I used to handwrite all the placards for the car show for multiple years before it went
What?
computerized, believe it or not.
I didn't know that.
And I was so fascinated by, we're both 1958, when people were driving in 1958.
Oh, I know.
Like, we were taken home from the hospital in the car like this.
Yeah.
You were. No, you were. We're not going to go into how I was taken home. Whole different thing.
The store just dropped you.
But yeah, there was no safety harness. There was a rope, and there was a steel dashboard right in front of your head.
Right. And it's there is a certain romance to the hot rod. I grew up really, and I consider myself an environmentalist, but truly I'm not. I drive, I ride my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I think maybe I recycle and save water. I don't know if anybody's a true environmentalist, but there is this, I grew up loving hot rods, and just something about that is, I'll miss the internal combustion engine. I know, but
There will always be a nostalgia for it.
There will be,
but that's progress.
I think there's a time when perhaps, I guess for me, the last thing I want to hear internal combustion wise will be like a bored out Harley. And I ride an Italian motorcycle, but the sound of a V twin is really, really great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so visceral. I guess that's very visceral.
It is.
A Tesla just doesn't have the same.
No, it doesn't.
I know.
And everything now feels so temporary, disposable.
Right.
We know
Yes.
that it's only going to last so many years.
Right. So now we have a car that's like 60 years old.
Right.
Yeah. You know what happened to one of my customers? And he was a producer, and he produced Murder, She Wrote and other shows. And he was environmentally conscious, and he went to a rally in the valley, San Fernando Valley, and he had a hybrid, one of the new hybrids. And when he got back to his car, it had "We don't need you, pig," on his windshield.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he was hurt, and he was like, I was thinking my car is cleaner burning than the '68 Volkswagen van that's next to it.
Yes, of course.
So I mean, that's just it is. But yeah,
we have to find a balance.
Yeah, but the Rods for Roses has been now. Kim, is this the 23rd year?
I believe it's the 26th.
Oh wow! Because I
Yeah.
think I got here, I saw the 3rd, and they had like 40 cars. Do you think he'll do motorcycles ever? Combined
We
motorcycles?
have motorcycles.
Yeah, I
But
think
officially?
Definitely.
Yeah.
seen them out there before.
Really? Okay, that means I have to spend $80,000.
Motorcycles, Army Jeep. I mean,
Yeah.
I think anything that
Anything goes, kind of.
was
It's a lot of fun.
powered back then.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It brings
It
a lot
is.
of people to the businesses.
And those people that take pride of these,
Yeah.
they've worked so hard to get it to the
Where's that?
where they want to show
yeah.
it. They're a unique group.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like those little.
And you get a haircut.
Yeah, and you can sit on the street.
Jorge Salgado.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Yeah, well,
And he also, I like about him, he does true barber straight edge shaves. Have you ever had a straight edge shave?
no, thank you.
No.
Nah, sorry, no.
Yes.
I have.
Oh my God.
I have.
I hate
CPR.
Kim's like, I have. Kim's going to show, you did? Wow, you are shaved.
I hate shaving my own face. I'm not
not going to shave your face.
No.
I don't know.
Nobody else is going to do it.
No, it is fantastic. It's like a 40-minute procedure.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's like a
but
With a
facial.
hot towel.
Oh, it's beautiful. I had one done in Cambria,
Yeah.
England.
Yeah, these people know what they're doing.
Yeah, Cambridge, England. And it was a place called Steve McQueen's, 45 minutes. It was wonderful. Jorge does the same thing. It's just, it's so traditional. It kind of spoils you because, men, we don't spoil ourselves.
Right.
We don't take care of ourselves. If you took 100 men
The Metro Man.
and asked them how many had pedicures, how many you think, what do you think the ratio would be?
Well,
These generations.
higher now than it used to be.
Gas generation.
Have you ever had a pedicure, Dennis?
Yes.
Good answer.
Once.
I know to do for Bryan's
Once.
birthday.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm going to get? When's your birthday?
End of March.
Oh, you have a year to wait. We're going to get you a pedicure and manicure. A petty mani.
I did that. My ex talked me into that
love it.
once.
I get a pedicure every month.
That was nice.
Good hygiene.
Good.
Yeah. See, the nurse says good.
Good.
Yeah.
No,
it's very good.
circulation is
Fantastic.
Well, that was good. But as a man, it was a thing like I did. I was not like, oh, I can't wait for that again. And I never went again.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow,
it was like to humor someone.
right.
I'm a man. I can't wait till my next pedicure.
There you go. It's
love
skewing
it.
that percentage again.
humor
See?
someone.
You gotta take care of yourself. Give a shit. Okay, I guess maybe I'm just not a normal man here. Wow. Okay, let's get back to women's health. I want to talk to you a little bit about women's health, or women's health, and because you're kind of talking about why aren't you X, and explain your position. Like, why aren't women held in a higher esteem? Because they do. Yes. And why do you think?
I don't know. I think people look at women as a vessel, and I'm talking all over the world. I mean, it's historical how women have been treated and used and abused and tossed, and I just don't understand why the beauty of what a woman brings to the mothering, and I don't care if they ever had an offspring, but there is a mothering that women bring to the table, compassion, care, beauty, and the fact that, again, we are continuing the species. If not, I just don't understand it. It's just something that I never understand how we are just not
We've been
considered.
we've been lucky enough to be allowed to see a lot of progress made in terms of equality and
awareness.
Exactly, but here we are at a time where all of that's under attack, and that is hard to understand.
Right.
It's like we made progress, like now we're taking steps backwards.
That's right.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I mean, and working in OBGYN, it wasn't always joyful because we saw products of dosing, women getting dosed in a bar, and
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about, if you want. I think it's interesting. We had not legitimate, but sanctified dosing with thalidomide in the 50s,
God.
and it was just for was administered as a pain medication.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. And there are still offspring that still are having fallout from that. That there's been cervical changes. They've had cancers that. Right. And we're talking like how many generations later. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. It just feels like if it affected a man, I think that the research, I think the monies, I think that the safeguards would be in place. And I hate to sound like that, but I mean,
well, I think studies have shown that.
Studies have shown, right?
Yeah.
It's
right. I agree. One disease, I think, because it seems to affect mostly women, is anorexia.
Yes.
And I find that a lot of people don't even think about it, but I don't know how many studies have been done about that and how serious it is. And the only reason I mention that because I worked with a guy whose wife was anorexic, and so we talk about it. And I remember he brought to work a crossword puzzle that she did, and it was crossword puzzle. I'm too fat. Nobody likes me. But my point being is, here we have X amount of the population, probably in the double digits.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
With anorexia, and you don't hear about any studies or any concerns or anything else.
Yeah, they consider it more of a female disease. Although I have taken care of patients that were boys, and so heartbreaking because they did not survive it.
Right.
And it's a control. It's self-loathing. There's so many components to it. It's so deeply ingrained, and in the psyche of the human, and also societal pressures. And I mean, so I don't think it's going to get the attention that it deserves.
Yeah,
it's just like anything else.
Have you seen women's health improve?
Yes, I think that women are kind of taking it on themselves to seek out other areas for self-help and self-care and psychological help, counseling, whatever. I definitely have seen an increase. So it was almost like women, you just were the ox in the field. You kept work until you died. And that was our parents' generation. And I think it's just progressed through the years that women are now saying, no, that's
so kind of the classic idiom was a female. That's a female issue,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I know that,
which could be anything, you know. It is relegated to that, you know.
Yeah, and the whole hormonal thing, I think, is going in a different direction because it's taking in we talked earlier about the combination of Eastern and Western medicine, and it works. It's a good.
There's a balance there, and again, you know, I think every show I mentioned Caroline.
Carolyn, she's remarkable.
23 in a row.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But, you know, because of her history, where she's from, you know, and the things she's done and what she does and her, you know, being involved in the medical as a pharmacist and part of the community.
And your number one portal to the female world.
Yes, that's right.
And, and you know, kind of no bullshits, you know, yes, dear. Portal. So I mean, it's not that she, you know, she's not taking a back seat to any guy.
No,
you know, even though to me that's, you know, easy to do because I'm so phenomenal as a male.
Knowing her character, she has so much integrity.
Hey Kim, I never had an orgasm on air. Okay, so
that we know of.
That we know of. You're like, I can't stand up. Well, Melissa was here. We know, really. Oh my goodness. Anyway,
but about Carolyn, I was saying that, you know, she has this integrity and intelligence. Like you said, you know, she was born and raised somewhere else and bringing that information here, but she's never been like bought by big pharma where she's just going to throw medication, and she gives you really good information and just kind of like
and that was what brought up. There's a balance with Eastern and Western technologies, because again, a lot of people goes, I want to keep organic, and a lot of the medicines we take are from organic sources. Again, again with organics, because that field is unregulated, sometimes you can get a bottle of, say, niacin or whatever, and one pill could be 500 milligram, another pill could be 550, or not, or sugar. They found, you know, placebos in there, and then of course that could have effect with your medication. Where it comes in the Easter is the meditation, the massage, some of the exercises, and some of the natural ginger, turmeric, so many other things too that we know.
Oils and there's such a great combination of things that are available, and I think women are seeking those answers, and so I think medicine is definitely changing.
And now you're dealing now with geriatrics, older generation, older people. Yeah. How rewarding and
it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. I mean, going from, like I said, obstetrics gynecology, working with babies, working with, you know, it's the same process. It's just the life cycle. You know, the need is there, and I love elderly people because they have such a story to tell. And I was in a writer's group with a group of elderly people, and they were kind of sharing their histories. And there was one gentleman, I'll never forget this story. He told of the story where he was on the run, you know, it was during the occupation, and he had to flee Hungary. I think he was Hungarian and Jewish, and so he had to flee, and the only place that he could go that was a neutral territory was, I think it was Switzerland, but still things were moving in. So he had his family purchased the birth certificates of a family that was slaughtered. And it was a mother, father, and a little girl. And he had to take on the persona of the little girl. And as this child
to survive,
and he was so afraid that if he spoke, they would know he was a male, and he would be killed or put his family in harm's way. So he went mute for 10 years of his life, went completely mute, and then became a professor at Princeton University in New Jersey, and wrote books, and was, you know,
it blossomed.
Just an incredible human being. But when I think about the unbelievable horrors that a child experienced, and then went on to create this life, it's just amazing. So I think that rings true for me as just this strength, this just incomparable strength that you just can't even believe that people didn't just, you know, fall down on the ground and never get up again.
Well, I noticed. I think I noticed with I think maybe the generation behind us. I'm 64, and we're perhaps the first generation that says, well, 64 is an age, yes, but your attitude is everything.
Right.
You know, you can do XXX at 64, 70, 75. A friend of mine's mom, she's 89. She's publishing her second book. Mm-hmm. She just got back from London doing research for it at 89. And that's what I see with us getting older. The past generation had a lot of struggles. And, you know, whether going to war. We're the first generation, at least for me. Yeah. Even if I had joined the military, I probably wouldn't have seen any kind of military action. That's so I would have been in the 70s, the early 80s. So, you know, first generation never had to go to war. I think since 1907, if you think about it, because had World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, then skirmishes. And so both male and female developed a certain can-do, hard scrabble attitude, I think, that you get to see. Yeah. You know, that might be hidden, but it comes out when you have your writers group, and you find that very rewarding. They had a life that you find fascinating, and they're sharing it with you.
Yeah.
And the extra angle of in Carpinteria, right? Everybody has a good story about how they wound up here, so that's like on steroids. I mean, that's like a real magnified version of that when you get old timers with stories like that on top of their journey to get here.
Exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. Exactly. And we will talk to how you got here, because you came in from New Jersey.
I did.
And by the way, Geri's said something to me that I've never heard before, and I don't mean this in a demeaning way, but she said I went on vacation to New Jersey, and I've never heard that before. Where do you spend your vacation?
We'll understand that.
Those words don't quite go together, do they?
I know. Yeah. Where did you go on vacation? New Jersey. I was like, so in Hawaii, Paris, New York.
I've actually chosen New Jersey.
I went to New Jersey
because I have such an incredible family there.
I know. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about how you end up back in Carpinteria. Kim, do you have anything to say before we go to music? You've been awfully silent.
She's just taking it in.
I've never been to Jersey.
Neither have I. No, I haven't either. I heard. I'll tell you. How did you like it?
Well, I'm a Springsteen fan.
Yeah, I chosen a Springsteen song.
I went for the pilgrimage. I really did. I went to Freehold. I went to Asbury Park and all of his old haunts and stuff.
That's right outside of Asbury Park. Born in Wanamassa.
Oh,
my sister and I used to sneak into the ice house to watch Bruce back in the before Greetings from.
Now, see, I just had an orgasm.
Yeah. We were kids, and and we'd sneak back in and get thrown out. So he was.
Okay, Vin, I didn't have an orgasm.
No, Jersey was cool. The part that I went to, the parts that I have seen are really fantastic.
Right?
Really.
It's the Garden State. People don't realize.
I know. We get sopranoed out. Yeah. That's basically it.
Well, that you see, and
I'm Italian for New Jersey.
Yeah.
So stereotypical. It's kind of gross.
I have friends that lived in Manhattan. They moved to New Jersey. Two things happened. They saved money and nobody would visit them.
Yeah.
I'm serious, because they'd have family and friends come out. And
two birds.
Even then, New York is expensive. And they're like, you're staying for a week? Oh, great. But they moved over to New Jersey, saved gobs of money, and nobody visited them.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, so Dennis, when we queue up Brandy Carlisle, right on time, and right after that, it's Jason Isbell?
Yeah,
and 24 Frames. That's a good song.
Killer song.
That is a good song. Yeah. So Bryan's Unstruck Radio, CarpinteriaValleyRadio.com, with Geri and Carty and Kim Gutierrez. Woo! Dennis Mitchell over there in the control booth. I'm just gadding away, taking up oxygen. I would never be allowed in a submersible. It would never got like 400 feet, the oxygen be done.
You had to go there.
I had to. Is it too soon?
Yeah, so it's going to always.
I won't mention Abraham Lincoln then. Okay. Brandy Carlisle. CarpinteriaValleyRadio.com. This is Bryan's Unstruck Radio Giggle Fest. Sorry, Dennis.
Open the mic just at the right time.
Yeah, 5 seconds earlier. I would have been fired. I'm not even paid. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Great song choices.
Yeah.
Brandy Carlisle, Jason Isbell, Joni Mitchell, and a case of you live, 1983,
and
London.
You must tell us what you just told us about.
Yeah, tell us your Joni Mitchell story.
Oh, I was telling them I was meeting a friend for lunch maybe 12 years ago, and it was back in the day where Pizza Kitchen was your only option.
Yeah.
So I was coming around the corner, and I bumped into Joni Mitchell.
This is in Santa Barbara?
In Santa Barbara at Paseo Nuevo, and had a a moment to talk to her, and
Wow.
And she was very nice.
oh, she was lovely and beautiful and just so gracious. And I said something stupid like, "Now I can die," and she actually
That's really
giggled,
sweet.
and,
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
And it was like one of the
Usually they say to me, like, "Now you can die."
yeah.
Wow, why don't you leave me alone? I'm in your bathtub, dude.
One of those moments that
Yeah.
God-given.
Isn't that nice, though, when you can have an interaction
Gosh, it makes it
and this is fun and you don't overstep,
never.
and that's
Right.
hard to do. Can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
Overstepping, Riviera Country Club wedding years ago, my old girlfriend, and we're walking back, and her dad was with us, and he's a sweetheart man, like a big teddy bear guy, and with his girlfriend. And Tracy goes, "Oh, hey, there's Dean Martin." And Fred goes, "Where? What? Dean? What? No." And Barbara goes, "Dean?" And my girlfriend goes, "Let's go." And we just walked away. And I remember never forgetting watching Barbara chase Dean Martin to his car, which was an egg yolk yellow Rolls Royce convertible.
Wow.
And I still see him shutting the door and her almost going up against it. I mean, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So
Blood flowing.
and that's what people
Yeah,
don't like.
no,
But when
never,
how you
no.
came across
Right.
like, as a true fan
Yes.
who loves her music,
Right.
you can't not like that.
I
and
worked
be
for an
receptive.
OBGYN practice that had a lot of, high-end
Yeah.
people, and he always played it down, and they always had a...
Well, you saw them with the most vulnerable there.
Yeah, exactly.
You love your albums.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
So how did you end up in Carpinteria?
So, okay, that's a funny story. So,
Funnier than a Barbara.
there was a
Dean
little
Martin?
period in time that I grew up in New Jersey that I've mentioned multiple times, but my parents bought a house in Florida when my father was New Jersey State Police, and they were promised an early retirement. So I had an aunt there and some other cousins, and so he thought it would be a great place to retire. And then they changed that when the next politician came in. So my parents asked me to go and take care of this house in Florida. So that brought me to Florida, and I lived there for 3 years. Anyway, that's a little backstory. Marybeth and Martin, my sister Marybeth and her husband Martin, got married in Florida because they thought this would be easy for all of the family. People could come over, and there's not a lot coming over from California. Marybeth was living there. So anyway, she and Martin got here. There was the air controller strike. And so my husband Greg and his cousin flew over in a Cessna.
Oh, wow.
So I
Okay.
had the job of picking them up at this tiny airport, and then we went out to a bunch of little bars on the beach and whatnot, and then Greg and I got together at that time. So I actually...
Was it love at
married-
second sight?
It was, yeah. I mean, it was fun at first sight. We had a good time, and then they went on their honeymoon, and he ended up staying that extra 2 weeks. And when they got back from their honeymoon, they came back to Florida to just see my family.
Yeah.
My sister and her husband, Greg's brother, were like, "What the actual?"
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how we got together. And then I moved to California. He flew to Florida.
Yeah.
We got in my little they called it a mistake at the time. It was a Mustang.
What year?
It was, I don't even know what year that was in. 71. I mean, it was
70s
who knows?
Mustang?
It was a really cool little car, I thought. And we packed all my things, and I really didn't know him very well. We only dated long distance, and we drove cross country.
Wow. And you drove cross country together.
And we just had our 40th anniversary.
Wow.
Hey.
How was it driving cross country with him?
It was great because he's very adventurous, and we went a lot of different routes, and I loved it. It was a part of America I hadn't seen before, and so it was cool. It was very cool.
Now, was he born in Carpinteria?
Los Angeles for the first.
Because he came here in '59.
Yeah, he was 5 when he came.
Oh, okay.
So he, and his father was superintendent of the Carp School District for 26 years.
Wow.
Before that, the principal at Carp High and
Doc Carty.
Doc Carty.
I got to know him a bit through Carpinteria Beautiful.
Just a great guy.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really
Helped
amazing.
start Carp Beautiful
Yep.
and Carp Education Foundation, and remarkable human being.
Yeah.
And so as was Daphne Carty, Greg's.
So, what was your opinion of Carpinteria when you first hit it?
So, all right, so I came from the East Coast, where an hour and a half away I would go to New York and see whatever concert, and an hour and a half away to Philly. So I had, it was just this perfectly great location, and had the beaches, Jersey Shore, and and lived in a very rural place. So I kind of had that idea of and Cart reminded me a lot of that. When I got here, I had a hard time with the idea that you couldn't get food past 9 o'clock at night.
Well, that's a recent, getting food past 9 o'clock is a recent phenomenon anyway.
I know I do that intermittent fasting, and I would never eat at that time. But back in the day, you go to concerts and then go to the diner.
Yeah,
Vin can understand this, and that was and they serve till 1 a.m. some restaurants and that kind of thing. So that was hard. This is very, very quiet.
Yeah,
and the funniest thing is when I moved here, people thought Greg was having an affair with my sister Mary Beth because they would see us together. And they would think he was with Mary Beth. And
wow.
So that rumor went around for a little bit.
It's a small town.
Yeah, I remember going into the bank and depositing money. I worked at Cottage Hospital, and all of a sudden I got all these, bounced checks. I was like, what the heck? They were putting all my money in my sister's account just because they thought we looked alike, and they just never even looked at my name.
Oh, you're kidding.
So it was all that small town stuff at first that I thought, oh man, am I going to survive here? But I can't imagine living anywhere else. Yeah, it was. And I raised my 2 daughters here.
Right.
And they're just
it's a great
remarkable humans. And, it's a good foundation. I always brought them back east, too, because I really wanted them to have an idea of what other places look like and felt like, and that you had to prepare for your life.
So you took them to New Jersey, but not Paris.
Not Paris. Went to Italy.
Or New York. Or Los Angeles. You go to New Jersey. And I know we're bashing New Jersey. Yes. It's a beautiful state.
It is. It is. I mean, I don't know if I could live there now because I'm just a freak about being cold.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the winters. There's that.
70 degrees. I'm like, it's a little chill. I don't know what happened to me.
I know, it hit 68.
I'm like, what happened?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Let's blame it on age.
Driving in snow.
Forget that.
But my mother's brother was in seminary. He was going to be a priest, and 6 months before he was going to be ordained, he left, married my mother's best friend, and they had 8 children.
Wow.
So those are my first cousins. There's 8 children, and now they have multiples of children, and their children have children, and so every time I go back there, it's just the most wonderful experience.
A lot of family.
That's why I love vacationing there. And they're so much fun. They're so fun and loving and so caring. They can't do enough for you. So, and our kids are so close, and now our children's children are meeting.
So what do you think of Dennis? Because
Dennis is the best guy.
Everybody you like is the best.
I think Dennis is the best.
Come from?
This is one in which Charles Manson was here. What do you think of Charles? He's the best. It's great.
I used to read a lot about Charles Manson because I was absolutely blown away by that he had that much influence over humanity, and so I did a lot of reading.
Well, he was the classic predator
by him,
who could read people and draw them in.
Yes,
like a lot of predators. Both, when I say predators, both officially through official means and through nefarious criminal.
Have you ever heard his album?
No.
He has an album.
Yes. How have you heard it?
I have it. It's called.
You have it?
I don't have it on vinyl, but I've had a copy of it for years and years. It's called Lie.
How is it?
There are Guns N' Roses did one of the songs on it.
Oh my God!
You're kidding.
He could write a song. For all the other things he did, said all that.
Channel that genius into good, because he used to put tape recorders under the pillows of his little posse, and brainwash and brain. So he was really just way ahead of his time.
In a sinister kind of way.
Disgusting way.
You have Jim Jones. You have a lot of people. There's a lot of vulnerable people out there.
Yeah.
And you. As a predator. Well, if you're a predator...
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
You can say anything you want. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I doubt that a Trump-loving person would listen to your show. I'm sorry to say that. But, look at how he is influencing people.
Right, the cult of personality.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting them to do his
need
bidding.
that. Humans seem to need to be guided.
I do. I know.
In a lot of ways.
What to think, what to believe, what to...
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's hard not
religion
to.
is the opiate of the masses, as we know.
Yeah. But it's hard not to. You want to in a way, but it's kind of scary if you don't. And people don't want that. And we live in a time now where we're inundated with information, both real and non-real.
Right.
We're inundated with environmental concerns.
Exactly.
And societal concerns. And so I think we have a lot of people who are looking for a guidance. And if you have a strong enough person who will lie, and it's not just here. Poland, Hungary, Romania, Russia, Brazil,
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah.
The United States of America, where it's like
so people will go towards that, and that's hard to fight. Is that your phone?
Yeah, that was my.
Is that Donald?
Oh, Donald.
God, Donald's like.
He's so mad.
Why are you saying those things?
Yeah.
Tell him good things, Jerry. Tell him good things.
Tell him good things, Jerry. Tell him good things. Very good invitation. Very good. I wonder what Melania's doing.
I just can't even imagine.
I know what it is.
I can't even.
Wait.
Just like
Rooftop pool.
Yeah.
Fashion magazine. Martini.
Her boyfriend from
The pool guy.
It's just.
I know.
You can't write this stuff. You just can't.
And the silly season is coming.
It's going to be so
upon us.
weird. You know what?
Yeah.
With AI and all the inundation and all this and God.
So scary.
I know.
Yep.
I agree.
It's so
I agree.
scary. All I want to do is like hug my grandchildren and say it's going to be okay.
That's one of the nicest things I've ever heard. Kim, you've never said that.
She wants to hug my grandchildren. You know what my grandchildren call her?
What?
My Kim.
Oh.
You mean my Kim?
Yeah.
When I say Kim, you mean my Kim?
How did you two meet? Because you guys are such tight friends.
No, we are through the theater.
Oh. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you hit it off. How long now have you known each other?
I didn't know, Kim. 10 years?
I've been here 10 years, so I want to say 8.
Okay. Yeah.
And you moved here when?
I moved here 42 years ago.
Wow. So you're almost a local.
Right? I've lived here longer than anywhere.
Yeah.
And,
So that used to be a big
local?
issue in Santa Barbara. Is like, I've been here 2 or 3. No. You're not a local till you're past 20.
I think you have to hit 50 years
I
here.
I left New Jersey like 19 years old or something. So it really, that was a long time.
I was at the bookstore and they asked me, "Are you a Carpenterian?" I was like, "I've been here 20 years, so do I need an ID card?" Are you like escort me out of town?
Right.
I'm buying a fucking book.
Yeah.
God.
But you're still a newcomer.
Yeah. You youngster.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you know
you.
what? It's been fantastic. Having you both
much
here.
fun.
Did you have fun?
I had a great
No, I learned a lot too. You were a great guest.
Thank
You really
you.
are. And I wish.
Excellent storyteller, right?
Yes. Yeah. And she has a radiant smile. I wish everybody could see her
You should have
smile.
met my father.
Was he great? A good storyteller.
He was the best.
Yeah.
The best. He was the story. He had remarkable stories.
Yeah, most people do.
And his life. I mean, these were real stories that he experienced. So.
But I find most people really do have their stories.
Yeah.
They might not think it, but if you get it out of them, they're kind of fascinating.
That's it.
Yeah, they really do.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Dennis, you want to end it with Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet?
Let's do that and remind people that if you missed any part of today or a friend missed out or whatever, tell them it replays tomorrow at 5 o'clock and Tuesday at 5 o'clock here on CarpenteriaValleyRadio.com. And you know what? It's replaying a whole bunch of other places too.
Everywhere.
Tune in and you're likely to hear it.
Yeah, we have our own satellite. We're bombarding Earth with this show.
Yep.
It's really
The
fun.
whole show. Pretty soon you'll be singing to Shadowy Men on a Shadowy Planet. That's right. This is Ryan Roots, Radio. Just keep listening to us all the time. It's like pickleball. Pickleball is the best sport in the world.
Yeah.
I love pickleball. You ever play pickleball? Here's a tennis player. You want to play some tennis? Yeah. Here's a pickleball player. Want to play some pickleball? Pickleball's great. Pickleball's fantastic. You ever play pickleball? You'll never play pickleball.
It's a cult.
It is.
It's become a cult.
It's an old person's cult. It's a knobby knees. It's a cult of knobby knees.
Yeah.
Not one of those legs should be out in public.
No. That's true.
Cover up, ladies and gentlemen. Cover up. Okay, that's enough of this silliness. Shadowy Men on a shadowy planet, having an average weekend. Bryan's Unstruck Radio, CarpenteriaValleyRadio.com. Thanks, guys. It was fantastic.
See you at the parade.
Yes.
At the car show.
At the car
Come on
show.
out Saturday, y'all.
Hit it, Dennis.
Yeah.